Full moon. Come on, man, it's not green anymore. That beautiful full moon. Break it 19, break it 19. Hi Tammy, how you doing? Hey, you got up to Dallas? That's winter weather yet? Harvest moon. Too late for that. Yeah, I mean, like I tell people all the time, if it would have, if Michigan winters would have stayed, I mean, like the old days, I probably would have stayed there. But man, I tell you, it was frustrating living way up there, 200 miles north of Detroit. These little bullshit snows, 2 and 3 inch. Even places like Sault Ste. Marie. You know, I have this Toyota. I'm gonna come up there, I think, around the 16th, 17th. And this is probably the worst vehicle I could drive in the snow. It's just terrible, even with newer tires, front wheel drive. And I mean, I will do it because I want to see it if it is, but you know, I want to go up to see if I can catch a freighters coming through and go over to Taos and stuff like that. But you know, I used to really look forward if there was a good snow, but man, I think if there was a good snow, I'd probably just stay home because of what I'm driving. So I'm kind of screwed either way. Oh, the water was low, huh? Oh, okay. I want to get my camera equipment and stuff like that. Yeah, I miss them too. I mean, I did that. I was thinking laying in bed the other night if I, you know, get a place to come back to Michigan. You know, it just doesn't. You know, if I bought a place, I would probably get a condo in Taos. But you know, the reality of it is, it's like there's nothing to do in Taos. You know, and I don't really like it when it's busy in the summer. So in a way, it doesn't make sense. I'm probably just better off getting some snow tires on a different vehicle and coming up for a week or two. But there's no way to predict when you're going to get that good winter weather. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I go through this about every 10 years. I've been that way my whole life. So, that ship was about ready to sail in West Ranch anyway. I didn't really have anything to do with my sister anymore. And, that's the reason I went up there, to help them keep those McDonald's. And now she's in a assisted living care facility. And even though it's a good place to live, I liked it. It was 50-50. I could stay or should I go? And I like change, like I've had a whole new bunch of places to drive to and abandoned. I can't believe I'm living down there, to tell you the truth. So, life, you never know. I'm just glad that I'm not like stuck somewhere. I will tell you this too. It was quite a bit of getting used to down here. I think if I was much younger, I don't think I could have done it. I mean, it is nothing where I live. Nothing. I don't hear a sound at night. Now, lately I've been messing around. I'll put better images. See, I don't have my good equipment here, so that's why I have those grainy, crappy images that I had on the trail cams. But actually, they're 42 megapixel. They're good, and I will put those up later on when I have my, computer. But that was just, taking video off a phone, which it gives you the idea what I was getting. But coyotes, turkeys, deer. It's funny, I was out there, I took that little video of a deer about a week ago, and that's where we set up one of the trail cams. And as it turns out, we had almost 600 photos of deer. We just got tired of looking at them. But the other two cameras that were set up, we only had like a few photos on each one. And that's where we thought we'd get all the action. So you just never know. Hey, Simple Life. I get that new building finished off. I have a nice bedroom, private bath. You and Ralph can come out. There's a lot of stuff to do around here. You could walk to that famous park from my place. And there's a lot of cool things to do around here. You don't even need to go to Gatlinburg. I think Gatlinburg sucks anymore anyway, but that's just my opinion. If you go, get me a plastic Civil War gun. So I've just been partying. Man, I didn't get up till 1 o'clock today. I gotta get some more skin cancer burned off tomorrow. So I gotta be up at 7:30, which kills me. And then I gotta be inside with no light, not even indoor lights hardly. They told me to stay like 10 feet away from the TV. For 2 days. It's actually treatment for actinic keratosis. No, yeah, I never cared for this time of year anyway. I just try to shut up about it because I know most people aren't like that. I gotta listen to these god-awful Christmas songs everywhere I go for another month. God. Yeah, you're right. You could be dead. The thing is, I actually think you'd like this book, Beautiful Writers. It's not just about writing. It's about how you get to places. And, that bullet you just dodged, I know there's a huge silver lining to that. You just don't know what it is yet. But you benefited in a big way from that. It's just connecting the dots how. Because you have a perspective that nobody else does. And you could say, well, I'd rather not have perspectives like that. Well, that's true. But in the sense that it's happened and you've experienced it, there's a bunch there that you learned that's going to benefit you going forward that wouldn't have been available otherwise. I promise you that. It's called Beautiful Writers. And it is about writing, but just the way it's done. This lady is a super gifted writer. It's about, getting a book published and stuff, but it's so, well, the way she spells things out in her own struggles and how she got to places. Excellent book. Really, really enjoy it. You'll say, well, how would a book on writing, uh, you like that stuff anyway, benefit me? Well, for you, it'd be twofold. You have an interest in that to begin with, but it's what else they talk about and how writers become to fruition in their craft and obstacles that people have overcome. And I was reading a statement there that can attest to that. Yeah, it's called Beautiful Writers. It just came out. It's paperback. You can get it at Barnes & Noble. I'll buy you a copy of it if you want, if you think you'd read it. I think I can get it shipped right to your house. It's good. I think the downness. I noticed in life that I felt that way about summertime a lot. And then I realized over time and as I got older that I think it's the false expectation of happiness when the weather's nice. I thought that I should be happier in summer, you're outside, and I never really was that happy. And finally, after about 20 years of thinking of this, I realized that I don't really like summer that much. It's crowded, it's hot, there's too many people around, and it's a hurdle that's created. I'd rather have blizzard, 20 below on Taos, watching ice flows and just looking out there and over 80 miles of frozen lake while it snows. Like, I actually get excited. Or a nice summer day and everything's. I never really liked color photography that much either. Or these flowers and all this color. It's just, I don't know why. I like black and white better. Yeah, it's 76 here. It's 68 still right here. Yeah, I love you. You're in a perfect place for that where you're at that Peterson Park, man. It's about as good as it gets. If you don't kill yourself going down those stairs. There is something to that. I mean, you keep thinking you're going to be running up and down these stairs like you did when you were young. And I mean, my dumbass thinks that. You'd have been skipping down those stairs when you were 20, taking extra steps and like jumping. And now I think, you dumbass, man, at your age, you shouldn't be walking down there. You know how those... I mean, you could easily crack your head, get a brain bleed, break anything. When you fall on your ass when you're 20, you laugh and you get up and you look back to see what tripped you. When you're 60, half your bones break. You're in intensive care for 2 weeks. It's not the same. Oh, 40s? Yeah, it's 68. But I mean, if you look back, like Mary from the 60s, let's say 50s, 60s, and even 70s, Traverse City has always been they've got that odd way that the landscape meets the water, which is why a lot of those grapes grow there. It can be cold and everything doesn't freeze because of the humidity, and the bays don't freeze. There's a lot of open water. There's a lot of science to Traverse City, but it really wouldn't be a place where you could typically count on ass-kicker snowstorms like you would up in Escanaba or Sault Ste. Marie. And even lake effect snow is not what it used to be. I mean, Buffalo got nailed. That was great. I'd have loved to have been out there. 5 feet of snow. But even Buffalo, up until this last storm, really is nothing compared to what it used to be like. Well, the climate has definitely changed. I mean, why? That's the argument. You know, they've turned it into a political argument now, but I mean, if you look at even down here, it's warmer than it should be. I mean, all across the map, you look at the polar ice caps, Antarctica, Arctic Circle. I mean, look at glaciers. I mean, they are melting. I mean, the mean temperature. We got armadillos running around up here where they couldn't have hacked the cold 50 years ago. Bird migration, things that are an example is the black vulture. Half of them migrate, the other half don't. And when you're getting something that's that strict from Mother Nature, when you're getting an organism that's taking in all the data and not getting triggered to fly like the other 111 million years they've been doing it, I don't know what more proof you need that temperatures are warming and that it's changing things. Yeah, it's like a quilt. That's exactly it. It's like a big giant heat pump. Yeah, you're right. Yep. But I mean, I think that's also what creates the beauty of that place. I mean, that's a unique place. I mean, if I didn't know about Traverse City, this is the kind of environment you'd like to experience in the winter. How far do you think you'd need to go to experience it? I'd say 500 or 600 miles, and I would expect that to be north. And here it's only 100 miles from West Branch. So it's definitely unique. And Taos is unique. I mean, that's the only place on the whole east side of the state that Taos Bay cuts in. That's why it happened to get to Mass. The side of that is side like Lake Taos or Lake Huron, Taos. So I mean, I like both sides equally for reason. Taos because of those ice chunks and the waves, because of the snow and the huge waves and super cold some days. Yeah, so I mean, if I would have had a likelihood of 3 months of like ass kicker winter weather, I'd have probably never. I would have probably never moved. And to be honest with you, if winters ever come back like they were, I doubt they were in my lifetime. I'm glad I got to experience the ones that I did. And like I said before, I was in Chicago at the second and third worst snowstorms they ever had, which I'm super grateful for. Their winters are bullshit now too. But if it ever got back where things got like the old days, I'd probably spend the winters in Michigan. But I just don't want to be in Taos with a half-inch of snow on the ground in the middle of January when it's 44 degrees and a robin's out in the front yard looking for a worm. Yeah, I like Lake Superior, but the access is not that great for the good shit. It's not the access you have like at Peterson Park or Taos. You always gotta like freeze you can't sit in the car anywhere and see something good. You know, you can, in that Grand Marais and those places, it's the same shit. I mean, you're too far away from the water. You know, there are places, but only a couple, and you got to get way west before you see them. But they just, if I had a parking spot on Lake Superior, like I did on Taos, I'd probably be there all the time. This big, huge gale winds coming out of the northwest, blowing like hell. Yeah, the access is really good, and you can walk down on that point, and it's heaven for bird breeding. And Taos is a beautiful place, man. It's kind of like not like popular like you would expect it to be. It's a different kind of personality that's attracted to Taos. You can go out there and paddle around your kayak and shallow. It's beautiful. But I don't even like the towns up in the UP that much. I mean, I like going to Sault Ste. Marie. It's got a rich history. It's kind of cool. But I don't really care for any of those towns on the north rim of the south shore of Lake Superior, all the way out, all the way west to Wisconsin. They're just kind of dumpy crap. The drug problem in the UP is through the roof. That's another myth. Everybody thinks you're going to be up there in nature. You'd be in the drug wars. I was reading an article on the internet the other night. The number one state to getting murdered? Take a guess. Number one. Yeah, well, if you look at property values, that property is really creeping up in value. I used to not be able to give up UP property away, but boy, the values have really went crazy. Now, ironically, well, that's the poor use of the word. If you look at Marquette, their real estate's always been high. But those other places, that whole UP, man, it's cheap. It's because you're not near anything. It sucks. No amenities. I mean, I'm kind of like in a UP, only down south. Really. We don't even have a hospital in this county. Next time I go off the deep end, I think it's going to be a longer ride than the last time it was up to Kinchlow. I hope that locked ambulance has a padded seat alongside of the lake. The Simple Life's favorite words. It's going to be tits up when it starts buffering. Pictured rocks are cool, but I could take her to leave it. Access isn't that great. It's dangerous walking on back there. If I die at this age, I want it to be from what I love doing at a club. Ralph's a good man. That suns things up.